Avatar is back in theaters with a 4K restoration reissue. We're back on Pandora. This is all ahead of the sequel, Avatar: The Way of Water, coming out in December. So if you've not subscribed to us yet, this is a great time to do that, because we will indeed be reviewing the Avatar sequel when it comes out, and so many great things along the way. I'm hoping we get to 20,000 by the end of the year. We've got so many new great folks joining us. Thank you so much for that. Now is the time. There's the button. We hope to see you. Alonzo, tell us about Avatar.
I see you. I see you.
In Avatar, in the indeterminate future, Sam Worthington plays Jake Sully, who is a Marine veteran who is a paraplegic and gets called upon to fill in for his recently murdered twin brother on a mission on the far, far planet of Pandora, where they are sitting on a very valuable resource called unobtainium. And a corporation really, really wants it, but the Na'vi, the indigenous people of Pandora, are not gonna, roll over and play dead for these folks. Scientists have created these part Na'vi, part human constructs that people can kind of put their mind into, their avatar, and allow them to interact with the Na'vi. Jake winds up, through bumbling, becomes very close to one of the Na'vi. Natiri, played, voiced and mocap acted by Zoe Saldana. And as he grows to earn their trust and become one of them, has to juggle his allegiances between his new friends and family in the Na'vi, but also the company that has sent him in to find out how they can trade for the unobtainium, and failing that, to help with the genocide of the Na'vi to get them out of the way of the mining that the company wants to do.
Did you like Avatar when it first came out? And is this a better experience now? Because I don't even remember Avatar, and I just know it was epic and blue and made billions of dollars,
right? But
seeing it this time around, I was blown away by the visuals. We saw it in 3D. It is what James Cameron does so well. He pushes that technology and has found really immersive, really detailed and exciting uses for it that aren't just gratuitous to have it out there.
Sure.
Avatar is the reason that so many terrible 3D conversions existed in the early 2010s.
Yes, he has a lot to answer for in that regard, because he does it very well. He knows what he's doing and gets the most out of all of that technology. Now, when I first saw it, I remember really being blown away by it as sort of a visual sensory experience. There were moments that I would kind of have to remind myself, oh yeah, right, I'm sitting in a theater seat. I'm not just in the middle of all this stuff. And I went to see it again yesterday in IMAX 3D, and on that level, it still delivers, no question. I think as a technological marvel, as a piece of immersive cinema, it's really good at that. For me, where it falls apart is the writing.
I was gonna say everywhere else.
It is so hokey and so on the nose all the time.
Unobtainium.
Unobtainium, for one. Yeah.
Right. Nick laughed out loud when he said that. He's like, really? Unobtainium?
Yeah. So you've got that. You've got it's funny. We just watched Aliens recently for one of our Table for One segments, and I was just reminded so much of the corporation, and how much like Giovanni Ribisi here is basically the Paul Reiser of Aliens. He's the corporate flunky who is not above bloodshed to make get profits for the shareholders. And also, it is such a white savior narrative. Not only is Sully the best human to go in there and interact with, he's better than all the Na'vi too. He becomes the once in every 5 generation warrior that figures out, if you fly above the other big flying creature, you can land on it and make it yours, which none of the Na'vi thought of, apparently. And so that's that doesn't sit well. It's just such a weird thing of like, I hate when the outsider comes in and is better than everybody else, because it was already a chosen one narrative. You know, the moment that he appears and he's almost, you know, shot with an arrow by Zoe Saldana, like out comes the little, you know, the tree dandelion things to be like, no, hold your fire. And then they cover him, let you know this guy's very important. So yeah,
there's nothing about him as a person that would indicate that there's anything special about him.
No,
he's totally a blank slate. Sam Worthington,
especially as played by Sam Worthington.
Sam Worthington, there's just nothing to him, and like, it's so hard to forget that he's Australian. Like, his accent keeps coming through. Like, it's partly New York, but like mostly Australia.
Yeah, like there were times where like, well, they never say he's not an Australian Marine. Like, I don't know. It just, yeah, you're right. They don't. He never commits to the bit accent wise. I joked on Twitter, this movie's kind of like This Is Cinerama. You know, those movies they made to sort of show off the Cinerama process, and you would go in and you'd be on the roller coaster at the Cyclone in 3 screens, and it was like, you know, the point of this movie is to see it in the theater, to see it in all of its big bells and whistles presentation. But as a movie itself, as a narrative, it's just kind of meh.
It's so overlong, it's so bloated in the middle, and so repetitive. And yeah, fascinating to look at. The colors are spectacular, and like unlike anything you would ever see anywhere, you do feel transported. And again, you don't go to a James Cameron movie for the writing. You know, you don't go for the dialogue, but it's especially like one-dimensional and cliched, and all the characters are either, you know, totally swaggering, like Sigourney Weaver coming out of her little pod, and she's like, "Where's my goddamn cigarette?" You know, I've seen the argument that it's meant to all be a cliche, and that they are trying to shine a light on stay with me here on on how empty these tropes are by presenting them in a heightened way. I don't know
that
James Cameron. I agree. That's a leap. That's a leap. And I don't know that James Cameron has that in him. I think it's all very black and white and all very muscular and all very obvious in every film he's ever done. He's not known for any kind of particularly deep insight or subtlety or restraint. So I think what he's about here is character types, you know, Marines suggesting that other men are girls, you know, and then Michelle Rodriguez is super swaggering. Like, the women are all badasses too. And even Zoe Saldana is as well, you know. I don't know. I don't know that he has that much depth in him, and that's not his purpose here.
And look, when it comes to something like, say, T2, I think he brings exactly what he's supposed to bring to the table as far as the script is concerned. But like, you know, as much as Titanic works as a big old-fashioned soapy movie, it's not a good script. And, you know, and we're not the first nor the last to say so. And this is not a good script. But you're there for all the other stuff. So it's like, this is a movie that I watched it once on Netflix a few years ago, and I was like, oh man. But I was thrilled to have the opportunity to see it again in a theater. And I would say, if you've never seen Avatar in a theater, and when the screening I attended, there were a lot of kids there. I was like, oh, well, were you even born when the first one came out? See it in a theater, because it's like sending somebody to like a really cool museum installation. You have to see it this way, and it will blow you away despite all the other stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Nick was blown away. I brought Nick. Before. I'm not sure. He thought it was cool looking, but he thought it was like the back half of it was just overlong and so boring and just stupid. And the little snippet of the sequel that you see during the credits, that looks spectacularly beautiful. Like, I'm actually really excited for that. It looks so much better. It like just from a tactile perspective in terms of the sound design, like it just looks really gorgeous. And so I guess this is their kid.
I guess, yeah. I mean, or maybe more than one. I don't know. But yeah, like, I love all the stuff with sort of the surface of water and how things look above it and below it and what sort of breaking through looks like. They picked a good clip to sort of show off. So yeah, I'm curious to see what the next one looks like. I fear that it's still a James Cameron script.